first, I just want to thank you for being here. It's such an experience for us and a reward. So I just want to say thank you. Okay, well, first I want to ask you, what branch of service did you serve in?
United States Navy.
Navy. And how many years?
10 years.
10 years. And where did you go to boot camp?
San Diego.
San Diego. And being in the military, is that something that you've always wanted to do?
Originally I wanted to be a Marine, and as I got older in high school, I graduated from high school up in Los Angeles, and I looked it over and I decided the Navy has more to offer than the Marine Corps.
Oh.
Training and stuff you can use when you get out of the Navy. I was an engineer in the Navy, a boiler tender, and that we make the steam that makes the ship go. And when I got out of the Navy, I was able to use that experience from the Navy, and it got me into the Union, and a good job. And that's the basic reason I went in the Navy. And I love the Navy. And I was in 10 years during Vietnam, went two tours of duty in Vietnam. I had a wife and 2 little babies, and my wife had a problem with me being gone all the time. So I got out, but I was going for 20 years. I was going to be a career person.
Wow. Well, Vietnam, were you afraid the first time?
Not really. The Navy in Vietnam is not like the Marines.
Right.
We weren't battling the Viet Cong. We were firing missiles into Hanoi every night.
Mm-hmm.
We went to Yankee Station, which is in North China Sea. We were 400 or 500 miles from Hanoi, and every night we would fire Talos missiles into Hanoi. And we also picked up, if a Navy flyer or Marine Corps flyer was shot down above Hanoi, they would bring their airplane to the ocean and we'd pick up the pilots. That was our daytime job. At night we fired missiles.
And my next question was, any other of your family in the military?
Yes, my youngest son was in the Army for 4 years in Germany.
Would you say that's because you were in the military?
Not really. He got out of Downey High School up in Los Angeles, and he didn't have real good grades, but he didn't want to go to college. So I said, go in the military. So he joined the Army, and he got to go to some good schools, and he did well in the Army, and he got himself a really good job when he got out. My grandfather was in the Navy. This hat is a pre-World War II hat that they don't wear anymore, but my grandfather gave it to me. He wore this hat. And now they have the little white Dixie hat.
Oh, yeah.
But I just hang on to this hat from my grandpa.
Well, if for anybody who wanted to go into the military now, what would be your advice to them?
If you get out of high school and you have decent grades, you don't have to be a straight A student, but if you have good grades and you stay out of trouble, because they look into you, they check your background now. Yeah. And if you want to get some good training, and you say, for example, you want to be in electronics when you grow up, you know. It's a good, the Army, the Air Force and the Navy is really great. If you want to just go and see the world, you can go in the Navy, you can see the world. I saw the world in 10 years. And I got a really good training, and I got out of the Navy, made a good, my wife and my kids enjoyed the extra money I made because I got a good education in the Navy. And I recommend it for, I think it's a great thing.
You said you've been around the world. What's the first country you went to?
The first country, right out of boot camp, I went aboard a ship in Long Beach, and I went to Japan and the Far East, China, Singapore, Manila. We stopped at all the little islands, and we fueled our ship, and then that was the first cruise. I was 18 years old. And the next cruise, I was 19 and a half, and I went to Australia. We went to Indonesia, we went to Malaysia, and then later on I was on a heavy cruiser, Columbus, and we went around the world. And we went all through the Mediterranean Sea, went to North went up to Amsterdam, and went all those big cities, and we saw all that. And the ship ended up in Norfolk, Virginia, and I transferred back to California because my family was in California. But I saw basically the whole world. We went through the Suez Canal. We just, every big city we stopped. And here in, we went all the way to Alaska. We went to all the big cities in Alaska, which were not that big, but we went to up Seattle and Portland, and we were in Portland for the Rose Festival. It's really a nice thing. You really see the world when you're in the Navy.
What's the most significant memory you have of being over your years of service? A memory that sticks with you?
A lot of times when we came back from Vietnam, when we entered our port in San Diego, the families were there. We haven't been home for a year, and a lot of guys had their wives there with their little new babies they hadn't even met. That was really a thrill for us. But the one a personal thrill for me was aboard the Columbus one night. Our steam line broke in the engine room, and the hatches were all shut, and the captain thought we were all deceased because of live steam in the engine room. And what we did was we all dove under the bilges and we hid ourselves from the steam underneath the deck plates. There's a 3-foot area where a lot of pipes run. We all went under there. It was something that we were trained to do. And when they opened the hatches and closed all the steam valves, they thought they were going to find all these dead bodies. There was 20 of us, and we were all alive. And I'll never forget that. That was something that comes back in my memory quite often, because we could have all been killed. And that's just one instant. And then another one was we were in Kobe, Japan, and we were tied alongside a pier on a heavy cruiser, and a nuclear-powered submarine came in from the U.S. Navy, and we had to. We didn't know at the time, but the people from Japan didn't like us having a nuclear-powered ship there because of the nuclear bomb, and we had to fight off the people with fire hoses. That was kind of fun, but yeah, it was scary, you know.
Yeah.
And finally, that lasted for a couple hours, and then the submarine actually left port, and they calmed down after that. But that was kind of something you remember too.
Yeah. Well, are you part of any organization?
Yes, VFW and the American Legion. I'm on what they call Honor Guard. We conduct funerals at Riverside National Cemetery. Last Tuesday we did 7 funerals.
Wow.
I've been there for 9 years, and I've done 750 funerals at Riverside National Cemetery. And I fold the flag and present the flag to the next of kin.
And is that, what is that experience?
It's very rewarding experience, because here you have a veteran, usually World War II veteran or Korean War veteran, that you're conducting final rites. And the family is very appreciative of what we do. We're all volunteers. We give hundreds of hours, thousands of hours a month to that program. And when you get down, you fold the flag and you present that flag to usually the wife or the children of the deceased, and you look into their eyes and you tell them thank you for your what we do and what they did for the military. It's very touching, and you go away feeling really warm inside, because what you did was you made those people feel like he counted. He was important, you know, to us. Yeah. When I present the flag, I know the name of the person, what his rank was, and what branch of the service, and I mention that in this little speech I give. And I love going over and doing it, because it's in my blood.
Yeah. Do you keep in contact with any of the men you serve with?
It's kind of hard. I get on the computer now and then and I type in names. I found one of my chief petty officers that I worked for a few years ago. He lives in Wildomar. And I was able to be with him for, say hello to him and visit with him a few times. He had asbestos from the Navy and he died. But I've run across a few of my Navy friends and I find them on the computer.
Do you have any regrets?
I regret that I had to get out of the Navy after 10 years because of my situation at home, and I was gone all the time. And my wife was raising 2 little baby boys, and she couldn't handle it. So I decided that I didn't want to get out. I wanted to be in the Navy 20 years, but I got out because my family was important to me, and I did that. But if I was, say, a single man, I would have stayed in maybe 30 years.
Wow. Family is important. Well, I think that's good, right? Okay, thank you.